As Singapore approaches its next general election, the People's Action Party finds itself in a precarious position. The party's repeated denial of gerrymandering accusations is increasingly difficult to maintain, particularly with pundits speculating about the possible disappearance of two single-member constituencies, Bukit Batok SMC and Bukit Panjang SMC, where the opposition Singapore Democratic Party has shown significant strength in recent years. In the 2020 general election, Professor Paul Tambia of the SDP delivered an impressive performance in Bukit Panjang SMC, securing 46.27% of the vote against PAP's Liang Enghua, despite being placed in the ward only on nomination day, which many viewed as a tactical move by the SDP. Professor Tambia, an infectious diseases expert and the first Singaporean to lead the International Society of Infectious Diseases, proved to be a formidable challenger. Similarly, in Bukit Batok SMC, Dr. Chee Soon Juan, Secretary-General of the SDP, garnered 45.20% of the vote against PAP's Rolly Pillai in the 2020 general election. This marked a significant improvement from his performance in the 2016 by-election, signalling growing support for the party in the constituency. Given these performances, the possibility that these two SMCs may be absorbed into larger group representation constituencies raises serious questions about the integrity of Singapore's electoral boundaries. The potential removal of Bukit Batok and Bukit Panjang SMCs would follow a pattern seen in past elections, where constituencies that showed signs of opposition gains were absorbed into GRCs. Notable examples include the absorption of Fengshan SMC, Punggol East SMC, and Joo Chiat SMC constituencies, where the opposition also showed significant electoral strength. The PEP has consistently denied any gerrymandering, with the Minister in charge of the Public Service, Chan Chin Sing, asserting in Parliament that the Electoral Boundaries Review Committee operates independently and objectively. The opposition, led by the Workers' Party and the Progress Singapore Party, has repeatedly called for greater transparency in the boundary drawing process. During the recent parliamentary debate over a motion put forth by PSP non-constituency members of Parliament, PSP Secretary-General Hazel Power described gerrymandering as an act of disrespect for voters, arguing that it undermines the genuine concerns of the electorate by changing the rules to favour the ruling party. Leader of the opposition, Pritam Singh, further highlighted that the PP has long benefited from the way electoral boundaries have been drawn and redrawn, according to Mr. Chan, who was responding to the motion. The EBRC does not have access to voting information, nor does it consult the PAP or any other political party during its deliberations. This, he argues, insulates the boundary drawing process from party politics, unlike in other countries where gerrymandering is a known issue. However, these assurances ring hollow for many Singaporeans, particularly when viewed against the backdrop of past electoral boundary changes that have disproportionately affected constituencies with strong opposition performances. The argument that the EBRC's decisions are purely technical and non-political becomes harder to accept when one observes the consistent pattern of SMCs being absorbed into GRCs after the opposition has made gains. During the debate on the PSP motion, when pressed for a direct answer on whether gerrymandering occurs in Singapore by Mr. Singh, Mr. Chan demurred, leaving his response open-ended and ambiguous. Mr. Singh asked, "Is there gerrymandering in Singapore?" In response, Mr. Chan said, "I think I've explained the meaning of gerrymandering, what it means in other countries, and whether it applies or does not apply in our context. And I'll leave it to members of the House and the public to decide." This carefully worded reply leaves more questions than it answers. As speculation mounts over the fate of Bukit Batok and Bukit Panjang SMCs, if these constituencies are indeed absorbed into GRCs,